Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been a long while. I have not been on here in almost 2 years now. So I guess you could say I'm new to YouTube all over again. Today's video is going to be a fall makeup tutorial. It's going to be a traditional old school voiceover. So I'm literally reteaching myself how to use my camera, how to edit videos. Like, I think I forgot how to use iMovie. Like, that's how long it's been since I've filmed and edited anything. So I'm basically teaching myself everything all over again because it's been so long. Bear with me if, you know, the quality is not great, or if there's a shot that you can't see, or in the next coming weeks, I'm going to have a lot of videos coming out. They're all going to improve slightly as we go. Literally all of September, I'm going to be focused on like relearning the editing software and the lighting and the camera settings and everything. I'm going to try to focus really heavily on that. So like come October, like it's literally just, I can focus 110% on the creative part of the process and do some amazing tutorials for you guys. For the subscribers that I had for the last 2 years that did not unsubscribe due to my absence, thank you so much for not unsubscribing. For anyone who is new to my channel, this is the brand new journey. I'm starting over on a really positive note. So if you guys would like to join my journey here on YouTube, feel free to subscribe. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the tutorial and look out for a new one coming very soon. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel if you've been here before. Thank you for visiting if you're new. Please subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye. All right, so to start this makeup look, I'm going to fill in my eyebrows first. Whenever I do a dark smoky eye, I like to make sure that my eyebrows get done first. I'm using the NYX Micro Brow Pencil in the color Taupe, and I'm just doing hair-like motions and filling in my brow. I like to clean up my eyebrows with concealer. I'm using the LA Girl concealer in the color Porcelain. And this is really the only way that my eyebrows look nice and neat. I still have not been able to let go of using the concealer to clean up. So with the leftover concealer, I just like to blend it and drag the remainder down to use it as my eyeshadow base. And once I'm done cleaning them up with the concealer, I do it mainly to trace it and to get the shape that I want. Then I go in with my pencil again and fill in any empty spaces. So now with my favorite palette at the moment, the Naked Heat palette, I'm going to start my eyeshadow look. So the first color I'm using is Chaser, which is the second color in the palette. And with a Kylie Cosmetics blending brush, I am just going to start buffing that all over my lid and mainly focusing on the crease area. Then with the third color in the palette, Sauced, I'm going to do the same motion, but with this one I'm going to focus a little bit more on the crease because this color is a little bit darker than my skin tone, so it's going to start creating that definition right away. So now with the fourth color, which is Low Blow, I'm going to, with the same brush, start applying that to the corner of my eye first, and then as the brush runs out of product, I'll start dragging that over towards the front of my eye. And I'm just making sure that everything is nicely blended. And I just like to start from very, very light colors and build it up to dark. So now with the same brush, I am going to be moving on to the color He Devil. And as the colors get darker, the more I focus on the outer corner of my eye. I never like to drag anything too dark into the inner part of the eye. So with this one, I'm really focusing on the outer corner, and then with whatever is left over on the brush, I just drag it forward. So now with the color in Fuego, wait, was that in Fuego? Yeah, it was. I'm going to be using the Real Techniques brush, 203. This is a denser, more precise blending brush, and with this one I'm really going to focus on the outer corner of the eye just to intensify the look. And then with the Kylie brush again, I'm going to go in at the end and just make sure that everything looks nice and blended and even before I move on. So now with a small concealer brush and some concealer, I'm going to apply that all over my lid because that just makes whatever color you put on your lid look a lot more intense. So now with the Katy for Desi palette, I'm going to be, I'm sorry. DesixKaty palette. I'm going to be using the greenish color. I believe that's Turbosan, but I have to double check. All over the lid, and I'm just dragging it down in a gradient, and then I'm going to use Sus, and I'm going to use it over the top of Turbosan. So now with the 203 Real Techniques brush, I'm going to go back in with the dark color and just intensify the eye a little bit. So for primer, I'm using the NYX Angel Milk primer. And for foundation and my Real Techniques blending sponge, I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me foundation, the Dewy Smooth formula. I used to think this foundation was way too dewy, but in later days, my skin has been a little bit dry, so it actually works for me now. And you want to make sure that you're getting your neck, your ears, and that you're dragging the foundation all the way down to avoid any lines. So now with my Shape Tape concealer, I'm going to be highlighting all the high points of my face. And again, with my sponge, I'm going to be blending out that concealer and just making sure that there are no lines anywhere. And then with the tip of the sponge, I'm going to go in closer to the bottom of my eye and clean up that eyeshadow line, because eyeshadow can get a little bit messy when you are just blending it. And now with my RCMA No Color Powder, I'm going to set my under eye area and any of the areas of the face that need to be highlighted. I never really let the powder sit on my face for too long unless I'm doing like a very dramatic night look. I just do this so that my concealer doesn't go anywhere. And then with a blending brush, a stipple brush, I just like to make sure that all the excess powder is gone. I really get close to the mirror and make sure that it's all gone before I move on, because if you leave some leftover powder there, it can look really cakey and white. So now with a small pencil brush, I'm going to be going under my eye, and I'm going to be adding the colors in order, the same way that I put them in the top. I'm going to be putting them one by one in my lower lash line. As you can see, the lighting changed a lot. This was my very first time filming in a long time, and it took me a long time to film. So as the sun went down, the lighting changed. Sorry about that. All right, so now with Fuego highlighter from Dose of Colors, I am going to be highlighting my tear duct. So I'm just applying one layer of mascara to my upper lashes to apply falsies. These lashes are ARDELL Wispies. These have been my favorites forever. I feel like the shape and the density goes perfect with my eye shape. So now I'm taking some of that in Fuego color from the Naked Heat palette and a pencil brush, and I'm just going over the top of my eye because I don't want to do liquid liner for this look, but sometimes the lash glue dries a little bit gray, so you have to cover it somehow. So I just used a little bit of shadow, and that was mascara on my lower lashes. And now that I'm done with the eyes, I'm going to be contouring. I'm using one of the LA Girl concealers in the color Toast and a small concealer brush, and I am just drawing out the parts of my face that I want to contour. So now with my e.l.f. small stipple brush, I'm going to be blending out the contour and just making sure that there are no harsh lines anywhere and that everything is blending. I like to do my contour in parts because I'm so light-skinned that if I leave the contour, like the cream, on my face for too long without attempting to blend it, it makes a stain on my face that does not blend out no matter what I do. So first I start with my forehead and my cheekbones, and then I move on to like my jawline and then my nose. I just do it in steps. So if you struggle from that too, it really does happen a lot with fair skin. That's a good tip. I would always avoid cream contouring for that reason, but I just figured out that if I just split it in half, it doesn't stain me as bad. So now I am contouring my jawline to make it look a little more defined, and this brush is literally the best brush to blend out cream contours. but I always like to go in at the end with a beauty sponge and just make sure that everything is perfectly blended and seamless before I move on to the next step. All right, so now with the same small concealer brush, I'm going to be contouring my nose. Contouring my nose is such a task for me because I have a lot of freckles on my nose. So sometimes if you look at me really up close and my nose is not contoured correctly, it looks muddy because I already have all these freckles on my nose. So I really have to be really careful contouring my nose. So once I finish outlining that, I just buff it out with a Wet n Wild brush. It's an eyeshadow brush, and then I highlight. I like to let the highlight sit there for a little bit just because it gives it a more intense look. And while that sits there, I am just going to set my contour with my Benefit HOOLA bronzer. I love this bronzer. So now with my Shade and Light palette, I'm going to be taking the two lightest shades and I'm going to use that to brighten up my under eye area. If you notice, the highlight on my nose is not exactly in the middle. After I finished my makeup, like literally in all the selfies that I took, it was bothering me so much. My nose looked crooked because the line was not perfectly in the middle. So you want to make sure that you make your line as perfectly in the middle as possible when you are contouring your nose. And here I am just blending everything out with a beauty sponge. I like to use the beauty sponge on my nose opposed to the stipple brush because the stipple brush just makes a mess. And here I'm setting the cream with my HOOLA bronzer as well. And I just like to drag it to my eyebrow. So for blush, I'm using Luminoso by MILANI. I have heard that the formula for Luminoso changed and it's not the same color. The one that I have is the old one, the orangey one. So now with Fuego highlighter by Dose of Colors, I am highlighting my face and my nose. I'm so excited for this collection, like you guys have no idea. So now with Savage, also from the DesixKaty collection, I'm going to be filling in my lips. And honestly, I did not want to use a lip liner with this lipstick because this lipstick is just so beautiful. I didn't want to like disrupt the color in any way. So it took me like an hour to put on my lipstick, and I'm not very good at getting the shot on camera. But yeah. So this is the finished look. This is my fall makeup tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will be back very soon with more tutorials. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time.